Hey Dave, last night you all had your eighth consecutive win. What is the biggest takeaway from you from what has allowed this team to be so successful in these last few games?
Uh, I think it's been team baseball, and I think that when I say team baseball, it's offensively taking situational bats, giving up and out to move a runner to drive a run in, and Mitchell White picking up the bullpen. It's been starters going deep to pick up the bullpen. It's been the bullpen guys picking up the starters. Corey Knievel, Justin Brule opening things that they haven't done before, being unselfish. So I think that all that sort of put together has allowed for us to get on this roll.
And with Max Scherzer, Trea Turner was talking to us recently about just his level of compete. And I know you've shared that it's very similar to Clayton, but what does the two of them, what do they add, Clayton and Max? What does their presence continue to add to this team in this clubhouse?
Well, I think that Clayton obviously is who he is. He's been the face of this franchise for so long and has accomplished so much on the field. And as a leader in the clubhouse. With Max, there's a newfound energy, edge of a superstar, future Hall of Famer infused in our clubhouse, which was needed. And I think that not that things were getting stale by any means, but a certain edge of somebody that's as respected as Max Scherzer is always welcome, and holding guys to a high standard, which it takes to win a championship. So having both those guys in the clubhouse, and now you bring in Trey, who just posts every day and wants to be in there and will do whatever it takes to help a team win. Those are good ingredients.
And what do you like about the addition of Shane Greene?
I think with Shane, it's a guy that is a veteran pitcher who's pitched in leverage, who's had success. And I know that we've been trying to acquire him for a few years. And so I'm excited to have him, excited to get him in there at some point soon.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Dave Vassay. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, what hat are you wearing today?
So I'm representing. So there's a man in here in our clubhouse. His name's Clyde, and he is kind of running security on kind of wearing masks and us in the clubhouse being safe. And his son is on this cruise ship, the USS Montgomery, serving our country in the Navy, and which is named after Montgomery, Alabama, but is based out of San Diego. So, he gave me this hat and this morning, and I said, you know what, I'm going to give some love to the USS, to the Navy and the USS Montgomery. So thank you for asking.
Very cool. Dave, you were mentioning the unselfishness of the team and the situational hitting. 2 nights ago, even though you guys won, you were 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. And the next night, early in the game, Pollock gave himself up, and so did Chris Taylor. Did you feel like anything was said before or after that night where you were not as good situationally? And do you feel like this is the time of year where guys are going to start giving up their own at-bats for the betterment of the team?
Well, our hitting guys talk about it often, and most importantly, the players themselves talk about it. But I do think, Dave, that the 3 for 16, if there's 2 of those at-bats that are grounders that drive in a run, I'll take the O for the out for the run. And so I think sometimes those numbers can be misleading as far as getting hits. But the productive outs is what we're looking for. And there's a lot of those conversations going on in the clubhouse, which is always healthy.
Dave, Clayton was really letting it go, maybe from a further distance than what we've seen so far in this homestand. Is there a bullpen session on the horizon for him?
I hope there is. I'm sure there is. Mark Pryor and the medical staff is kind of behind that. So I don't have a date yet, but I heard the same thing, saw the same thing. So out to 120, throwing it, letting it rip. So hopefully here, I would assume next week early next week we'll get him off the mound, and that's kind of our hope. But we'll see. I don't want to kind of add to Clayton's. Clayton wants to get out there as soon as he can, so I'll just kind of side with him on the timing.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Doug Padilla. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, you mentioned leverage when you were talking about Shane Greene. You have 5 guys who not only have closers experience, but they've been all-star closers. How valuable is it to have so many guys down there that have that ninth inning mentality that they can employ at any point of the game?
It's great. It's great. And so with Shane, he hasn't pitched in a couple weeks as far as in a big league game, but knowing that he's done it just instills that confidence in me. But also when you have guys that have performed in those spots, those conversations filter to the Bickfords, the Gonzaleses, the Vesias, and makes everybody better. So, and we're seeing that kind of come to life right now in real time with those young pitchers. So adding another guy that's proven is only beneficial.
And we talked about last night winning the one-run games and how important the bullpen has been to that. What's been the difference? Is it guys coming into their own? Is it guys getting used to being around each other? What's going on?
I don't know. I just think that we're just finally winning those games. And I mentioned last night, Doug, I think a little bit, a lot of it for me is the law of averages. It's not like, guys are trying any harder or, it's sometimes you get hits and you win one-run games and you make pitches and you do, and sometimes you don't. So I think the easy answer is that's baseball, but I just knew we were better than the record said with the one-run games, and it's kind of showing itself.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Fabian Ardaya. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. Mookie was pretty much running at full speed at different points today. I mean, how much is the running as much of an indicator of how his hip is doing as much as anything else?
Very, very indicative of how he's feeling. So he took some swings on the field today, sort of some live simulated from Clayton McCullough, one of our coaches. Came out of it well, running really well. So, yeah, he's going to take some at-bats tomorrow, be down on Monday, and then Tuesday do some things more. So we'll see. So he's tracking. He's on his way.
And I know you touched upon it a little bit earlier, but this core has been together for a while. I know you guys have added over the years, but most of this core has been together for a while. I mean, how much has having new voices like Max, even Albert, sort of helped over the course of this season?
Well, the core, it starts with Andrew. Andrew has put this team together and understands the value of having certain pieces that are there. And then now when other pieces are removed, you kind of add the right pieces. And with our club, the bar is high, and it's supposed to be high when you play for the Dodgers. And so when you have Albert, what he's done, what he does in clubhouse, it makes sense. When you add Trea Turner and Max Scherzer, makes sense. So, the credit goes to Andrew and his staff. But for me, having the right people in the clubhouse and keep being able to move the pieces around makes my job a lot easier.
Thank you, Dave.
Last one's from Ron Kavner. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, speaking of intensity on the mound, have you had a chance to see Rich Hill yet? And will it be fun to face a guy you've been so used to seeing on your side in the past?
I saw him in New York for a day, talked to him, chatted him up. First day in here, said hello quickly. And then today, obviously, I haven't spoke to him. So he's going to be ready to pitch and bring that energy. And I expect our guys to match it. And I'm expecting to beat him.